That shit's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's embarrassing. But with that being said, let's keep it moving. Go ahead, introduce yourself, sir.
This is Kimoshi Abominito, and yes, Steam is 20 years old.
That's right,
It's
folks.
been 20 years.
It's
It's
old enough to get in trouble.
yeah.
Epic Game Store. I'm looking up when it the Epic Game. Okay, so the Epic Game Store is 4 years ago. They just added a cart. Last year, like not even a full calendar year, just like a few months, into last year. So, but hey, you know, they're gonna save us from Steam.
Here are the evil practices of Steam.
Yeah, the evil practices of Steam with Lord Gaben. Lord
Yeah.
Gaben. Lord Gabe Newell. Which I'll keep it real. Gabe Newell, like a lot of people like to talk shit. Like Steam fucking up was them basically creating the model on which how to have a digital storefront. So you can
Yeah.
forgive a lot of stuff. There is
Yeah.
no excuse for future gaming storefronts to not have basic shit that Steam doesn't have, that Epic doesn't have, that Steam has.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a mobile store and you don't have a cart where you can put multiple items and then buy them all in one transaction, I don't know what to say to you. But Epic didn't have the shit for 3 years. That's embarrassing. Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like I don't know, And then like the thing that makes it particularly egregious is that they went around talking shit. Like just talking shit, like, oh, Steam is a cancer. No, they aren't. They take a 30% cut of the revenue generated after a certain amount of money. Okay, fair. Because if you are a game company, you're using their infrastructure to sell your game. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's like you opening a business, okay? Let's say you open a convenience store, okay? And you sell like the normal shit people have at convenience stores. Maybe you have a liquor license, so you sell liquor, hard liquor, beer, uh, you know, chips, sodas. Maybe you have one of those hot doggerators that roast the hot dog, that mysterious hot dog that's been up there too goddamn long. Okay,
Yeah.
and then someone comes in there and says, "Hey, I want to sell my CDs in here." Okay, that's cool, but you're gonna give me like you're gonna give me a cut for using my area to sell your wares, aren't you? Yeah, I got you. So like, how much are you selling your how much are you selling your CDs for? Oh, they're $20. Okay, then how about 10%? So if you sell 5 CDs, you owe me $10.
Yeah.
I mean, they are using your location, are they not? They are getting access to your customer base, are they not?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is the
Technically.
difference between that and a digital storefront where the same thing is happening?
Yeah. I mean, they built the infrastructure.
Yeah, they're getting access to they would not have access to that customer base to even advertise their shit if it wasn't for you having the location, for you putting the work in to attract people to come over there. So why should you not get your fair due? It's not like you're saying you can't sell shit here, and if you do, I want half of the money. That's kind of
Yeah.
egregious. But I think
Yeah.
10, 15, 20, 30%, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Because at the
Well,
end
it's
of the,
pretty good. It's
I
not
mean,
cheap to maintain that. It's not cheap to maintain an infrastructure. There's a
no,
storefront.
especially when you're adding in the fact that Steam also has, you know, servers for their their servers that they maintain for all those online games.
Yeah.
You know, and as a consumer, I'm not paying. Look, unlike Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft, they aren't bending over my wallet and taking advantage of me. You buy one game off of the Steam thing, you get access to their servers, their multiplayer servers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what to say except I don't know. Fuck Sony. I mean, fuck Epic. Happy birthday, Steam and Lord Gaben.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just nobody's, a lot of people have tried to create their own storefronts and, they come crawling back.
I mean,
They come crawling back.
there are some storefronts that are pretty cool.
Yeah, GOG is doing pretty good.
GOG, but that's because GOG has games that there's some games that run like ass. The Steam version runs like ass, but the GOG version has been optimized to run on more modern PCs. For example, if you're going to play Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas or Oblivion or Daggerfall or Morrowind, I would say play the GOG versions for the first three. Oblivion and Daggerfall, well, especially Daggerfall or Morrowind, I would say play the open Morrowind or open Daggerfall versions that have been had all that code translated over to Unity or more open licenses because it's expensive the other way.
Yeah.
Very expensive. Also, there's no guarantee your shit's gonna run. I'm just gonna tell you right now. There's no guarantee. But what do you think? When did you hear about Steam?
Probably 2010, 2011. I was listening to a radio. And there's a radio show I used to listen to, and somebody was talking about buying the Steam sale. Talking about buying games off of Steam. That's when I first started hearing about those great sales that they have that you just weren't getting on consoles until probably a few years ago. Even still, they're not as good. uh, so yeah, I was like, oh, interesting. And I heard Steam was described as like the iTunes for games because music was the biggest place to buy music, digital music was iTunes. So at the time when I first heard it, so
All right. Um. Anything else?
no,
All right. Well, once again, happy birthday, Steam. You're old enough to get in trouble now.
yeah,
You're old enough to do some bad shit. Be a bad man. Um. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've always liked Steam. I've been using it like off and on from the very start. Um, like when it first started 20 some odd years ago. And I had a little shitty Dell.
yeah.
That's
I,
right.
I started using I started using Steam with like a crappy. It was a decent laptop, but It was more useful for like school and work. It had an integrated graphics card in it, so integrated graphics processor. So you can play like indie games and stuff like that on it, but like big 3D games, nah. I just didn't cut it for that.
Nah, man. My first gaming PC was a Dell, and it was a shitty Dell, and from those commercials. And basically, I got it. Well, I didn't get it. My parents got it so that I could do schoolwork. and it was not good for gaming. But I could play some games on it, like GTA Vice City and San Andreas on PC, and Black and White on PC. And Fable on PC. One of the reasons I hate the Microsoft gaming store, Windows Live, that shit, is because of that. Is because I remember when that shit was when they were pushing that shit, and it was trash. It was hot buttered ass back then, and we know it was hot buttered ass back then too. It was terrible. What else? What else did I play? Yeah, man. Like I said, the only problem with Steam is a lot of like they let developers and publishers update their games whenever the hell they want. And a lot of games that the versions that publishers and developers put on Steam might not run on older systems. For example, I have several games that I cannot run on my that I bought off of Steam. I cannot run on Steam. I can't run Shank 2, but Shank 1 is okay. I can't run and for those of you who don't know, Shank is the game made by Clay Entertainment, who also wound up making like Merca the Ninja and Stealth Bastard, stuff like that. Stealth Incorporated too. But before they did all that, they had Shank and Shank 2, which were kind of like 2D style slash 'em ups with tons of gore and shit like that. They're actually really fun games. Like much better than they have any business being. It's like these should be trash, and they're actually pretty good. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So yeah, Steam. I would say in the order of operations, I would say my number one storefront is Steam because of those sales. But yeah.
Yeah, Steam. I would say. I'd say. The thing about PC gaming is there's even better sales out there with like the CD key house places.
Yeah,
for games lower than Steam sometimes.
Yeah, I try to stay away from CD keys because a lot of that is the gray market, and sometimes it's the black market because people steal that shit or do shady things in order to get those keys. So I kind of stay away from that. But sometimes if it's something that I just like, I don't give a fuck about the people who I'm buying it from, like a Windows Office key, shit like that. I'm like, I don't fuck Microsoft on that. So I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Fuck them.
Yeah.
But typically I don't do that. But I can see where you're coming from with that. So for me, it goes. My number one is
Steam.
Yeah, it goes Steam, GOG, followed by Fanatical. Okay. And then the developer concern, which is like more indies,
Yeah.
So I like that. Anyway, that's it. You got anything else you want to add before we move on to the next topic?
I'm good.
All right. So that being said, guess we should move on to the next topic, which is none other than well, Unity has sown some discord, for lack of a better term. Basically, the shit has hit the fan, and everything is just gone to shit.
Yeah, they've
They
really kicked the bucket of bees.
kicked the bucket.
They really kicked
They stepped in a
it.
pile of shit and kept on
Yeah.
walking. It's like, hey man, you stepped into a pile of shit. I don't care.
They stepped in a pile of shit, and as well as started hitting bees. Started going around hitting bees' nests.
You're trudging this shit everywhere in the house. I don't care, but you stepped in a pile of shit and it's just being dragged around the house. I don't care, but sir, the shit is everywhere. I don't care. It's like, bruh.
Here's a tidbit of information. John Riccatello took out or sold like $80,000 in Unity shares.
Yeah, I
Before
could
this
see that.
announcement.
Yeah, because he knew it was gonna go down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, here's the thing, okay? John Riccatello's job is to produce consistent money for his shareholders. That's his job. Okay? Whether you like John Riccatello, which I'm not crazy about John Riccatello. I didn't like him when he was CEO of I didn't like John Riccatello when he was CEO of EA. I thought he was marginally better than what's his name? Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
You know, because EA is bad, but the big thing that EA will do, EA will work you to death.
Yeah.
They'll work your ass into a ditch. But, you know, Activision will work you to death and also molest you. So, you know, like, if you're going to work me to death, don't molest me on top of it, which is...
Yeah.
And it's like, it's terrible, but you're also molesting me, so I can't really... That's not cool, bro. But hey, you know, that's just my opinion. Do you have any thoughts on it before we move on to... do you have any thoughts about this Unity nightmare?
No. They've destroyed the indie market. They've essentially destroyed the indie market.
Well, they've destroyed their indie market.
They destroyed their indie market.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like John Riccatello just turned into Kratos and like, burn this village to the ground. Burn this whole damn thing to the ground.
It's like, but this is this is one of the core assets of how we make our money. I don't care. Fuck those people. That's basically what it felt. I don't care. Fuck those people. It's like, but get out of my face. It's like, okay, all right, burn it all down. He basically turned into did you see Black Panther?
The first Black
Panther.
I've seen the Black Panther movies.
Yeah. Remember when Killmonger was like, yeah, burn it all. It's like, but the challenge, burn it all. Like, that's basically what Rick can tell him. It's like, burn it all. It's like, but challenge day. Bitch, do I look like I'm fucking around? It's like, okay, goddamn. It's like, that's basically, he pulled an Eric Killmonger. He pulled an Eric. I never rescinded my challenge. Who's gonna be T'Challa and say I never rescinded my challenge? Who? I mean, like, here's the thing. I don't think this is going to work because there are so many other game engines that are out there.
I just feel there's so much other stuff out there.
Now, if it was 15 years ago, yeah. But, I mean, you've got fucking Epic. You've got, Unreal. You've got, there's so many other gaming engines out there that are just waiting in the wings to step into the, the gap that has just been created by John Riccatello. So I don't know what to say, man. I've never in my life seen someone basically tank their entire um, market like that. Like I'm like, you just gonna shoot yourself in the ass?
Yeah.
This is some Microsoft. This is some Don Matrick. This is some Don Matrick shooting
Yeah.
yourself in the dick thing. Shit right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say they shot themselves in the he shot himself in the family jewels.
It's like,
Like,
oh
you
yes,
know, like,
oh, we have a product for people like that. It's called the Xbox 360. So let me get this straight. You're telling people that if they want it, they should stick with the 360. No. I'm saying, oh, shit, I fucked up. I remember being in that podcast. I was like, yeah, that man's not gonna have a job next month. And I'll be damned.
next month.
Next month he was gone. Like it wasn't even a full month. It was like 3 weeks. I was like, his ass is done. Yeah. So for those of you who might not necessarily know what we're talking about, allow me to explain. So basically, here's what happened. Okay. In a nutshell. All right. Unity,
Oh, go ahead.
which is the name of an engine and also the name of a gaming engine, a gaming software development engine, and also the name of the company that owns the rights to that engine, announced that it's changing its pricing plan. So basically what they're doing is they are essentially charging people an arm and a leg. They're getting rid of the lowest tier, which a lot of indie developers and smaller developers were using to pay for their games. So the way Unity made their money was you basically used like the freemium version, and then once you released your game, like they'd make money by selling you assets, okay, or you could make your own assets and insert them in the game, but that's a little bit more into the engine, but that's a little bit more time consuming and resource intensive, but people did it. And like once your game sold X amount of units, they would get a cut of the revenue generated. That's how it used to be for most developers. For bigger developers, it's like normal engine licensing 101, which is, you license our engine for a game budgeted for this much, you give us a cut, and we call it a day. Now, the problem is that they've changed their pricing plan to some shit that effectively squeezes the fuck out of the small time user. So basically they're getting rid of the Unity freemium, so there's no longer a Unity freemium. And they're doing revenue sharing. Oh, no. They're not doing revenue sharing. They instead of charging you for revenue sharing, they're charging you per unit sold, but they're not calling it a unit sold. They're calling it an install. So if you technically, I'm guessing the language of the contract isn't like this, but on the surface, it seems like if you install and uninstall a game that uses Unity multiple times, the developer owes Unity, the company, 2%. If they're using the Unity Personal and Unity Plus, which is now the lowest standard thing. Okay? Yeah. So, but really it's like a sliding scale. So, the revenue threshold in US dollars is $200,000 for the last, like how much revenue you've generated. $200,000 the last 12 months. That's for the lowest tier right now. For Unity Pro, it's $1 million. For Unity Enterprise, it's $1 million. Okay? In a year. Or if you installed or sold to customers, 200,000 or $1 million for the Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise. Okay. Now what this means is, if you sell like over like from 1 to 100,000, from 101,000 to $500,000 to $500,000 to $1 million or more, like it's a sliding scale. So basically, if you sell for Unity Personal, Unity Plus, it's 20 cents per install. So basically, if you're selling a game for $20 and you use Unity to make that game, you owe Unity 20 cents for that game.
Yeah.
Which, here's the problem, okay? Here's where it gets a little funky, okay? Because like for the lowest tier developers, let's do some math here, folks. Let me get out my handy dandy calculator. Let me get my handy dandy calculator out, because I used to be really good at doing math off the top of my head. I am not that good anymore, unfortunately. Let's see, where am I? So basically, let's say you sold 200,000 units, or I'll give you a real world example. Okay, Sea of Stars has sold 250,000 units. Okay, times 0.20. Okay, that's $50,000. Okay, now here's where it gets kind of funky. Okay, that is only the revenue generated. Oh, sorry, no, that's 50,000 times. Let's see, how much is Sea of Stars? Because it's more than that. Let's see, Sea of Stars is, actually, I can go on Steam and look up how much it costs right now. Sea of Stars. It's $35 times 35. Sorry, is $1,750,000. Okay. What if the profit that they made was only like $500,000?
Yeah.
Unity has them by the balls, don't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really think of a. I think that's a succinct way to put it. It's like, hey, my balls are in your hands, sir, and not in a good way, sir or madam. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about? I mean, like, I know clearly they're running out of money, and the people are like, we need more money, so you need to get us more money.
Yeah, a lot of companies lately have been raising their prices. I saw Hulu just raise their price $6 by $6.
Yeah.
Uh, Sony has lost their damn minds raising their prices anywhere between $30 to $40.
Yeah, I'm
So it's
so
just like
glad I didn't actually spend money on that shit. I'm like, no, I'm good.
it's just
Egregious.
it's agreed. It's insane what these companies are doing. They're obviously not making as much money as they
I
you know
feel like, but the
were.
thing is, they said they had record profits last year and the year before that.
Exactly. Well, it's like, okay, where's all this money going to? Are you
Shareholders.
guys are you guys is somebody selling is somebody selling stuff in the back closet somewhere and just stealing all the profits?
I
Is that
think
what's
the money is going to shareholders because it's not being reinvested in the company because they're laying people off. So
Yeah.
that's not, oh, we hired all these people, so we have to maintain them. That's clearly not the issue. Personally, I just think these people are just greedy bastards, and people want all the money. They aren't happy to have some of the money. They need to have all the money.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's nice to be the boss, but
You know,
you gotta pay the cost.
I mean, that is
I
such
mean,
a pay the cost to be the boss, like James
yeah,
Brown says.
yeah. It's
Got to
like
pay the
you
cost to
know,
be the boss.
it's like you know, um, I know he won all the money, but there has to be a certain amount of fairness to it. Like
Yeah,
at some point, people are just not going to want to do business with you if you're just going to keep shoot,
holding them over a
shooting around
barrel.
and shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, not only that, but to be perfectly honest with you, it's unrealistic. It is unrealistic to expect to get all the money.
yeah,
It's unrealistic. No business should ever go in thinking, I'm going to make all the money. Think you're going to make some money. Carve out a niche, and that's your steady revenue. Then, once you get your core steady revenue, then you try and expand to get a bigger market share. What you don't do is think you're going to nickel and dime the shit out of the people that already are your steady fan base, which is what they're
yeah,
doing right now.
yeah. Yeah. It comes to a lot of these corporations and what they're doing. Something's got to give. Whether you're talking about streaming or gaming, like it's just out of control. This stuff that's been happening the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But I mean, I heard a bunch of indie developers had to close down. They're not closed, but they had to lay off a bunch of people. And I'm sure you have people that are moving their projects to the new engines. So it's a mess for a lot of people right now.
I can't say I blame them. I mean, look, listen. If the engine you're using is basically going to break a studio, like your game, like basically this is saying if you make a game in Unity, your game has to sell gangbusters.
Yeah,
Gangbusters. Like, I mean, like I said, let's use Sea of Stars as an example, right? Their game is $34.99, but I'm just gonna round that up to $39. Okay, I mean $35. Okay, 35 times 250. Okay, that's 80. That's $8,750,000. Okay, all right,
yeah,
minus $1,750,000.
yeah,
Okay, so basically, in order for them to turn a profit, okay, they have to keep their budget for Sea of Stars under $700 million. Sorry, $7 million. And they're a
yeah,
small indie studio, so this plus marketing plus people getting paid. I don't know how big that studio is, but I know that you know they have a they have a publisher, so the publisher is probably getting half of that. So just divide that by two.
yeah,
That's three. That's three. That's three. That's three. That's 3.5 million. Okay,
yeah,
that's just the revenue. Okay, so you got to factor in. Okay, like, do they have a studio that they rent out?
yeah,
Okay, let's say they have a studio that they rent out and they pay, let's say, $100,000 a year for that studio to have that space and the facilities associated therein. So let's say that game's been in development for at least 5 years. So let's say 5 years. That's half a million minus 500,000. So I mean, it's this is clearly aimed to squeeze to nickel and dime and hold the people who use Unity over a barrel because it's designed to
yeah,
also get people retroactively.
yeah. Yeah, and I heard one person say it's like we can. Another thing is like another bad thing is if there's somebody in the company that says something bad about a particular game or developer or whatever, they could just rally up a troop of people to delete, install, delete, install the game, and then the company ends up going bankrupt.
I don't necessarily like. Okay, legally, I don't think it would work like that. I think when they say install, I think it's meant to mean installation of like on that computer because every computer has its own um, electronic signature,
Yeah.
like that account. So once you buy like Steam, once you buy a game on Steam, even if you delete that game is registered to your account on Steam, which is why games that have been delisted you can still access on Steam and GOG, even if they've been
Yeah.
delisted, because you have a license to play that game
Yeah.
tied to your account. I think it's based upon it being bought by that account, not the installation of the actual like digital bits going to being put on your hard drive or whatever, downloaded. Don't hold me to that because
Yeah.
this is John Riccatello and he's an evil piece of shit. So he's not Bobby
Yeah.
he's not Bobby Kotick evil. He's not Bobby Kotick evil. I will admit that I don't think he's at that level, but he is a piece of shit. But hey, at least he's brave enough to actually let his hair go gray, because Bobby Kotick's still dyeing those fucking hair plugs on his head brown. No,
Let it go,
no.
man. Just let it go.
Just let it go. Look, man.
You know,
Look. I'm
we're all gonna get
37.
old.
I'm 37. I got gray coming out in my mustache. I got gray coming out in my beard. I got gray coming out in my hair. I'm like, look, do I want to go gray? No, but it's a natural part of life. At least you're old enough to go gray. Shit, you want to die young while you still got no gray in your hair? Shit. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Anything else you want to add?
It's gonna be interesting to see how they walk this back within the next few days.
Man, they're not gonna walk this back because Bobby Kotick already tried to sell it. He's already sold it to the board. He's already told them, yeah, we'll weather the storm and it's gonna go out.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. They just wrote the textbook example of how to kill your company.
I mean,
in 24 hours.
I don't think Unity is gonna die. I think what'll happen is Unity's just gonna have to diversify and spread out to other things. They've already started doing that by selling out to military contractors, because you want your game software to be associated with war crimes, and blowing people the fuck up. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Enough about John Riccatello and Unity, unless you have something else you want to add, sir.
No.
All right. So let's keep it. I guess we'll do Nintendo first and save Starfield for last. So so Nintendo is having a fucking direct tomorrow. What do you think it's going to be about? Or have they announced? Have they teased us? Have they tantalized us?
I think it's going to be some of the stuff that they didn't show a lot of at their last direct. So we might hear more about that Princess Peach game.
Oh yeah.
3DS 3DS port of Luigi's Mansion 3. And we might get some GameCube ports, maybe, because they did that at least for. They did that for Metroid Prime, the first game, and they did it for the Pikmin game. So we might see that. We could maybe see another 3DS port announcement, and that's gonna be it. Look.
Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath unless you want to pass the fuck out. It's gonna be so. Okay, look, I agree with you. I think they will announce a GameCube port. It's gonna be a GameCube port no one gives a shit about. It's probably gonna be Metroid Prime 2. Which, I mean, I like Metroid Prime 2. I think it's better than the first Metroid Prime, because the first Metroid Prime, in my opinion, is essentially just a 3D version of Super Metroid.
Yeah.
with the same problems of Super Metroid, the backtracking and the cryptic puzzles. Sometimes it's like fuck, except it's in a third dimension, which means it's even more confusing sometimes. And I say this as someone who has played that game and beaten it multiple times. There's still parts of it where I'm like, how the fuck do I solve this again? And then I have to think about it. And then if I'm really stumped, I'll go look at a game facts. I'll go read a game facts and then come back and beat it. Or they'll probably announce those GameCube game ports, like remasters, that they're going to charge an exorbitant amount for. So you'll probably hear about Baking Kato's 1 and 2, even though it's not really 1 and 2. It's Baking Kato's 1 and Origins, which is a prequel. They'll probably announce maybe another port of a Pikmin game, because the new Pikmin's coming out. They'll probably talk about that shit. Which I'm not interested in the game, but if they come out with a stuffed animal of that dog, I'm getting it. I'm getting the dog. He looks like Poochie. He looks like Poochie from Yoshi's Story.
Yeah, he does.
I'm gonna get it because I love. Look, listen. I'm gonna let you in a little secret, okay? I don't really like small children or babies, but a puppy. Oh my god, I love puppies so goddamn much. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's keep it moving. So, and they'll probably, what else will they fucking announce? They'll probably announce that. They might have they'll talk about the new Princess Peach game, because they just kind of hinted at it a little bit. I think that game is going to undersell unless they're also releasing a pink Princess Peach Switch Lite.
Yeah.
Just for little girls. Just for little girls. Now little girls can have Princess Peach and the powers of her emotions. It's like, so you're basically leaning into tropes about women being overly emotional. That's not very progressive. Where was I? Where was I? Let's see what else. That's about it. I have nothing else to add. You have anything?
Yeah. No. Again, people are gonna get their hypes up. Everybody's gonna get hyped, and then they're gonna be sorely disappointed tomorrow. And,
Are you gonna get
I'm
their
gonna be
feelings
there to
hurt?
mind the salt. Yeah, I'm gonna be there to mind the salt, and that'll be it.
They gonna get their feelings hurt. They gonna be crying.
Yeah.
Nintendo lied to me, but they never made any promises. I don't care.
You sat there for the past 2 to 3 weeks listening to rumors,
Getting
seeing
yourself
all the
hyped up about some
gossip,
bullshit.
and you're like, "Oh no, Nintendo! Wait, Nintendo didn't say anything."
You know what? You know what this is like. This is like a dude with his girlfriend. His girlfriend says, "Oh, your birthday's tomorrow. I have a surprise for you." And he's imagining she's gonna do all types of freaky deaky shit, and it just winds up she brings out a cake. Nothing else. You just get a cake. And he's like angry that he got a cake. Well, that is a surprise because you were expecting something else, but she didn't say anything. She just said a surprise. She didn't say anything but a surprise. Anyway, my point being is this: you guys, these fanboys always get all hyped up. Not to be outdone, Sony also announced some shit.
Did they announce their state of play?
Yeah, they're gonna have a state of play. They saw Nintendo did it, so announced their shit. So they're like, we gotta announce our shit too, because we don't have original ideas. We just steal other people's ideas.
Well, Japan. I mean, not Japan. Tokyo Game Show's next week, so.
Oh, really? So
yeah.
it's just TGS. Okay, that makes sense.
That's
But
what
I'm still gonna stick with Sony. Also has no original bones in their fucking bodies. I stand by that statement, sir.
I think there was a couple of games that were announced at the state of play. It was a couple of years ago. Still haven't gotten a release date.
What games were those?
This third-person action game where you play as a female protagonist. I can't remember the name of it at the moment. Top of my head. Hopefully, we see some more information about that, and maybe there's some other stuff, but it's gonna be a state of play, so it's probably gonna suck. Like,
Yeah,
it's
most
been
of their
very
state of
rare
plays are
for a state of
terrible.
plays.
Yeah, most of their state of plays are terrible. It's not.
I expect massive disappointment, and hopefully it's better than what they did a few months ago. But don't hold your breath, man. You might kill yourself.
Yeah, you hold your breath, you're gonna pass out. You're gonna pass out and then fall down a flight of stairs and bust your head wide open if you're holding out hope that they're gonna do something interesting.
Does the state of play tomorrow as well, or is it a Friday?
I don't know. I just saw a headline that they announced their state of play, so like whenever I see like announcements come out that quickly, like Nintendo announced something, Sony announced something, the first thing I roll to in my head is clearly someone over at Sony's like, oh shit, we have to steal their thunder because Sony is an unoriginal company. Like they don't really innovate. Like shit, they just announced last month that they're coming out with a fucking Wii U gamepad.
Mm.
It's a Wii U gamepad, and here's the thing. Here's the sad thing. It's not even as innovative as the Wii U gamepad was.
No.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Did I hurt the Sony fanboys' feelings? I don't care. No shits are given about me hurting your feelings because I don't give a fuck. But you got any thoughts on it?
Um. Yeah, I mean, just expect announcements of stuff that we just expect. Hopefully, release dates of games that were announced a while back. Because this is what Sony does. They'll announce a game 2, 3, 4 years out in advance. It's like I hate when companies do that.
Well,
Like they got to keep the hype going for like 5 years. It's like really,
I'll keep
you
it
got the
100%.
game.
I'm not against them doing that. I'm not against you announcing something that's really interesting, but if you're announcing some bullshit, then I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're announcing something cool, like, okay. Like, if you're announcing something really fucking amazing that people are really hyped about, and it's something, like, you do a trailer and it's like, oh, that's amazing, then I don't mind you announcing it early. But if you're gonna announce some shit and that it's not being worked on, and you're just like, it's like, shut up, we're working on it. No. Like how Nintendo announced Metroid Prime 4. Remember? Like when they first
Yeah.
showed off the Switch. And here's the thing. I knew that shit was fucked when they said, oh yeah, it's being worked on by Namco Bandai. I'm like, why the fuck would you give that game to Namco? They don't make games like that. They've never made a game like that, ever.
Yeah.
Like that was like, I'm like, that game is fucked. And then it turns out they're like, yeah, we're restarting the game, making that because I think it was probably running like shit on the Switch hardware.
Yeah.
Because it's like, here's the thing. Every single Metroid Prime game got bigger and more expansive.
Yeah.
Okay? The original Metroid Prime, it felt like you had a whole planet to explore, or at least a large chunk of it. Metroid Prime 2, you had 2 planets, even though they were like just basically reskins with some, color palette swapping, shit like that. Then Metroid Prime 3, they said, okay, look, it's not going to be one planet with 2 different halves. We're going to have like 4 or 5 planets. And yeah, you're only exploring small parts of it, but you're still on 4 or 5 different planets with their own things going on. So the next Metroid Prime is going to have to be even bigger and more expansive and impressive than that.
Yeah.
And here you have the Switch that struggles to load areas in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3. Trying to put an entire planet in there? Okay, yeah. Okay, sure, yeah. And both Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 both run Unreal. Metroid Prime was made in Unreal.
Yeah. I don't think this game's coming to the.
No. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't want it to come to the Switch. Like, as poorly as some first party games run, I don't want. Like, because Metroid Prime is one of my favorite franchises. I don't want that game to be put out and have to be severely downgraded and compromised to get it to run on inferior hardware. Which is what they'd have to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, I'm okay. You can. I'd rather wait till the next gen, to be honest with you. Anyway, you have any thoughts before we move on to the next topic?
No.
Next two topics. Okay, the next topic is Marvel VFX artists voted to unionize. That's right. Another group of overworked people who are getting the shaft decided we're not taking this shit anymore. We're organizing. Thoughts?
Guess you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I mean, considering how shit some of the special effects in some of the Marvel movies have been lately, or, you know, movies where you thought the special effects were going to be shit and they looked like pretty goddamn good. And I'm like, I know that like 5 interns died to make this movie. Just being overworked. It's like, these people need some help. They need some fucking help, seriously. So, you know, look, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh man, they have a union. I'm like, look, when workers are being exploited, they need whatever leverage they can get in order to make sure that they're treated as equitably and fairly as possible. And if that means they have to strike and shut shit down, well, you know, do I really need another Marvel? Do I really need another CGI drenched bullshit ass film right now?
Yeah. We got plenty of those.
Yeah. You know, I was talking with one of my employees about the difference between John Carpenter's The Thing and The Thing prequel they made like in 2011. And I was like,
Yeah.
the prequel had CGI, and the CGI looks so shit these days. Whereas the practical special effects of the 84 original look so much better. Like, it's like, it really stands the test of time. I was watching a Blu-ray of John Carpenter's The Thing, and I'm like, aside from like one special effect where a guy, the main character has the people that he suspects as being subverted by the creature, tied to chairs, and one guy like breaks out of his bindings and like like his head splits in half and bites a guy's head, and you could tell it's just like a stunt man on fire picking up a dummy with like stick things to hold its arms. Like, aside from that, almost all the other special effects are like, this shit looks amazing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that versus a lot of shit where someone just put something into a fucking computer and rendered it out. It's like, I'm sorry, even shitty practical special effects I'll take, because someone spent the time to physically make something. It exists. It's there. Versus, you know, CGI. Oh, look at the yellow ball. Pretend it's a dragon. I can't. Fucking hell. I am a thespian, sir. I went to Juilliard.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, you know, some of the older movies where you had to, whether it be a movie, like, I don't know if this was if this was actually a theatrical release or made for TV movie. It's like Mighty Joe Young about the giant gorilla.
Yeah. Mighty Joe Young is like the guy who made King Kong. That's like his apology film, because King Kong has a lot of racist undertones, and Mighty Joe Young's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry."
But the giant ape was an animatronical thing.
Yeah, it's a puppet.
It was actually created. Yeah.
Yeah, they made a puppet. Yeah. I mean,
Like
I'll even
I
take a
get
dude in
maybe
a suit.
CGI. Yeah, it's like I get CGI. Maybe using it to hide some of the imperfections or some of the strings, but the heavy reliance on it is
Yeah,
kind of makes things look a little too fake.
yeah. I remember the moment I knew that Marvel was relying way too goddamn much on CGI was when I watched Age of Ultron, and you
Yeah,
could literally see where the stunt people, like you could see like the way the camera was angled. You could tell when it was like the actor and then the stunt person, and how the stunt person had no look of concern. I mean, people are shooting lasers and missiles at you. Yeah, I'm
I
like,
mean that
because
was
there's nothing there for them to act against. They are in front of a green screen.
it's kind of fun because like I was watching something. This is a couple of years ago about sort of deterioration of Marvel movies, and it's just kind of like the first Iron Man, the suit was actually real. Like
Yeah,
not in the sense that it was a functional suit, but it
but
was an
bits and
actually a
pieces were
practical
actually
effect.
made, and he had to put them on.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
then like parts of it, like the parts that they couldn't really get on him, they basically would CGI that, so it
yeah,
looked, high tech and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
agree with you, man.
yeah. Guess it's just easier to get a bunch of people in a computer room and we'll just draw it. We'll
Well, it
just
becomes lazy because you can
yeah,
tell it's like it become, well, not lazy in terms of, because people, obviously VFX artists are sitting there in front of their computers trying to get that shit to look good. I'm not saying that they aren't working, because they're obviously, these people are being overworked. People in industries that are being treated well don't vote to unionize unless they're getting
yeah,
fucked. Okay, so I understand that, but the over reliance on CGI to the point where, like, the sense of danger, the sense of wonder, CGI should be like a little bit of makeup, not dumping a whole bucket of paint in your face.
yeah.
But whatever. I don't know. Eh. Anyway, enough about that. Guess on to the final topic, which is Starfield. Yeah, Starfield. Yeah, Starfield. Starfield is an amazing game.
Yeah. You've been saying good things about it. I've been
Um,
hearing good things about it.
yeah. The thing about Starfield, I'm just gonna break it down for people. The thing that makes Starfield a fun game is that, aside from the main quest line, you can do whatever you want. And the new game plus, the hook of the new game plus is, from what I heard, amazing. I haven't really beaten it once yet and done new
Yeah,
game plus, because right now I literally went to the main planet in the beginning of the game, talked to the person that starts the main quest line, and then I just said, okay, fuck that, I'm gonna go do my own thing. And now I'm just off doing my own fucking thing. I'm like, I'm gonna be a bounty hunter. Oh, right now I'm not a bounty hunter. I'm a debt collector for the Galactic Bank. And then after that, I'm gonna go join the thief faction in the game and do some thieving missions. And after that, I'm gonna join the Space Rangers. Uh, it's like I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want, because that's way more fun than playing through their main storyline, because it's Bethesda, and the only reason the main guy who does the storyline for this game has a job is because he's friends with um
about Howard.
Todd Howard. Yeah, because it's not because he's a good developer, because he's not.
Yeah,
But but with that being said, as someone who's put about, here, let me check my Steam, Starfield, I've put about 18 hours into the game. Not a huge amount of time, but a decent amount of time. I have some thoughts on things that could be added to the game. These are more nitpicks than like major fuck-ups, because for a Bethesda game, this game is amazingly stable for a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it didn't crash. Crashed on me 3 times. but compared to
other games,
compared to Skyrim, where you could play, like I've played this game at 6 hours at a time. I remember when I had Skyrim on PC, or not PC, on PS3, where if you played the game longer than an hour, it would start slowing down and you'd have a memory bleed. And basically the game would just crash. Like you'd enter a building and it would crash. It would start slowing down. And then when they started patching it on PS3, where the patches broke the game, so they put in other patches that broke the game even more.
Yeah.
Like dragons flying backwards, dragons spawning in weird places. And to be honest, there's still quest chains in Skyrim that still are broken. They've never been fixed. The only way to play those quest chains the way they were meant to be played in a stable way is to download the unofficial patch, which is only available on PC. So the definitive way to play Skyrim is on PC. Also Fallout 4. Also Fallout 76. Basically, don't play a Bethesda game on a console if you can avoid it. Just play it on PC. It's the way. You know how Nvidia says the way it was meant to be played? In Bethesda games, the way they were meant to be played is on PC. Don't ever play that shit on a console if you can avoid it.
Yeah. Also, there's just some people out there, and this has been a problem with gaming for a long time. People who slither their way into the gaming community, and it's just like there's this guy commenting on Starfield talking about how there's all you do is shoot, and there's no space powers and all this other stuff, and there was another guy who was talking about how it's like Mass Effect, and he's complaining, and it was a David Jaffe podcast, and David Jaffe basically made up a scenario that wasn't in the game, and the guy acted like and the guy acted like it. He responded, it's like, yeah, but then he told him, it's like, yeah, the scenario wasn't in the game. So really have to be careful out there who you listen to about anything when it comes to gaming, because there's a lot of fake people out there.
I'm gonna spoil it. Because it needs to be said. Okay, basically, in Starfield, once you new game plus it restarts the game with, you keep the same stats and you come into that universe with a new ship and a new outfit. It's an alternate universe. So there are cases in the game, if you've beaten it multiple times, where different shit happens.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily say that what that guy said is bullshit. But what I will say, though, is Starfield is its own thing. Basically, if I had to say what it really was, imagine Skyrim with better laid out cities. Like, the cities are bigger, there's more people in the cities, which makes sense, and shit is more logically laid out. Also, people have bathrooms. Because I always found it weird to play a Elder Scrolls game, and you go to someone's house, or any RPG really, you go into someone's house, and they have a kitchen, a bedroom, but where's the bathroom? And they don't have an outhouse. Like, they have nowhere to take a shit. I'm like, wait, you have a kitchen, you have a bed, where are you going to the bathroom?
You gotta dig a hole and take a shit in the hole, I guess, and then cover the hole up.
But some of these people have really nice houses. I'm like, but your house is really fucking nice, dude. Like, what? You have money for this nice ass house, but you don't have a shitter. what, what is this? What is going on here? Where is the bathroom? Or the shower? Or the bathtub? Like, how personal hygiene, that always bothered me with a lot of RPGs. It's like, where's the bathroom? Where is the bathroom, damn it? Where's the bathroom? With that being said, let's keep it moving. So here are 5 things that I want to see in future DLC for Starfield. Since I've been playing it, since I put like almost 18 hours into it. Number 1, aliens. Now, if you've played Starfield, you know that technically speaking, every planet you go to that has fauna and flora, those creatures are technically aliens. I don't mean those types of aliens. I mean alien species. That would be cool. Like an aliens that have their own spaceships and can do all that cool alien shit. Now, I think their Shattered Space DLC might have that. Move that to the side. Number 2, I would like to see better ship customization. Because a lot of stuff is gated behind your skill level. So you can't even start to get better ship parts until your ship skill level is to a certain level. Which is a pain in the ass. Because, you know, I want to build a badass ship right now. Number 3. They have a lot of laser weapons. They have a lot of ballistic weapons. I want to see futuristic shit we've never seen before. Also, better melee weapons. Where's my lightsaber? Now, of course, we all know that modders are going to add a fucking lightsaber. Modders will add a lightsaber.
You'll probably be able to fly in the X-Wing and the Millennium Falcon.
They already built the Millennium Falcon in the game. Yeah, modders already did that. You can go look it up. They built a Millennium Falcon. They built an R-Wing. They built a Star Destroyer. Like, there's all types of cool shit. They built the shit from Firefly. Yeah. Yeah, it's look, listen, this game, once the modding community gets in, like really takes off for this game, it's gonna be amazing on PC.
Yeah.
If you're playing it on Xbox or I was about to say PlayStation, it's never coming to PlayStation. If you're playing it on Xbox, and when I said that, it hurt their hearts just a little bit. Oh, they started crying. Like we pissed in their Cheerios. That was my last bit of Cheerios, and that was the last of the milk, and we peed in it. What are you gonna do about it, Sony fanboys? Anyway, let's see. Number 4. I would like to see. Well, in this game, you can build outposts, which basically, like, initially, outposts are just places where you can get like helium fuel to extend your jumps if your jump drive kind of sucks in the beginning of the game. But later on, you can basically build an outpost out to have habitat, hab units, and everything like that. And it can be more bad. Your outpost can be more badass than any of the houses you can get by doing factional side quests. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm totally fucking okay with that. With that being said, move that shit to the side. I would like to see you be able to, like, now I haven't done Outposts like heavily yet, but I would like to see the ability to, like, when you build your outpost, to really, like, not just have to build an outpost based upon resource gathering. I think you should be able to just build an outpost and make it as badass as you want if you have the resources to build it. But that's just me. Yeah. So if I want to make a badass planet mansion on a Venus-like planet where it's hot as fuck, because it's a greenhouse gases, my evil layer, where no one can come because except for me and my heavily shielded vehicles. I can do that. If I want to build a mansion on old Earth, yes, Earth exists in this game, and humanity fucked it up.
Of course.
Just like we're doing now. Except we don't have the ability to leave this shithole right now, unfortunately. Anyway, yes, I would like to do that. And my number 5 thing that I want to see in Starfield is they probably won't do it because of the engine. I would like to see vehicles.
Yeah.
That's it. And I know they're like, well, you have the jetpack, and I know that the fucking creation engine is shit, and I know that the physics of the creation engine are shit, and I know it's really hard for them to get that to work. But man, I would like, it doesn't even have to be a wheeled vehicle, because I know wheels in physics, it could be a hovercraft, and I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Have you played a little bit of Starfield? Yes, no, maybe so?
No, I haven't played it yet. I might download it for.
Game Pass?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if you get it on Game Pass, there's no DLC for it. I mean, you can't mod it on Game Pass.
No, I was just gonna get it to try it out.
Yeah,
it's something I'm gonna invest in.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna do that, my advice to you is to do the main side quest. Once you get to New Atlantis and the Lodge, and you start that, then like after you like get the little key that lets you go into your room in there, just leave and start playing it the way you want to, because the main side quest is kind of underwhelming, but all the side factional shit is really, and even not even then, just getting in your ship and flying to different places, landing and just scanning shit and like coming across little outposts and like raiding, like areas that people are raiding, is kind of interesting. The organic adventure is more enjoyable than the planned adventure for the main quest. Now, the side stuff is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But hey, that's my opinion. Anyway, anything else you want to add before we wrap things up?
No.
Oh, wait a second. A brief announcement. Sony said they're having a state of play September 14th. And it will also run about 40 minutes. Come on, man. They just copying. That's all that shit is. Bastards.
Hopefully it's more substance. Hopefully there's more substance to it than there was in May. There was nothing. All that was there to care about was Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
And I'm not really feeling Spider-Man 2 that much, because it's got Kraven and Venom. And I'm gonna be honest with you, every time I've seen Venom in a Spider-Man game, I like 75% of the time it's been some bullshit.
Yeah, hopefully it leads up to
something good.
Yeah.
Plus, it's got Miles Morales, who is the world's most unimpressive Spider-Man, to me. I know some people are going to be like, oh, no. Look, man. Look. I was there at the beginning when he was just Ultimate Spider-Man. He took the mantle from Ultimate Peter Parker and Ultimate Spider-Man to be Spider-Man. And he was fucking useless back then, too. So I don't want to hear that shit. Anyway.
Yeah. And also, that's it. I don't have anything else.
All right. So yeah, this was the Red Fox Underwriter BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. I'm gonna try and upload some Let's Plays of me playing Starfield, but I'm gonna start a new game. I'm gonna start a new character for the gameplay because like the characters I've been playing in God mode, so cheating my ass off, and it's been fun too. So with that being said, look forward to that. That'll probably come out next week. Have a good day. Have a good have fun, all that fun stuff. Peace and good night.
Night. Have a good one.